how this is going to work for my end, I have a list of, I think, 8 questions.
You think you know me?
Over quarantine, have you seen a change in the views or subscribers in your content?
I'll be honest with you, it's been maybe a little spike, I would say, but there's a lot of variables. I can't really tell you. I could look at like the detailed history of my views on my account through the analytics, and I've even tried to analyze it to come up with my own understanding. But really, like the niche of videos that I'm in, which is remote control cars, mostly gas nitro. People are always going to be watching that. It's me making the videos. It's really been a matter of who I've been able to include in the videos, because a lot of times I'll go outside, invite a bunch of people to go RC. Now they're all like, scared to go home and tell their wife they hung out with people, stuff like that. But me personally, I would say I have seen kind of a spike in viewership, maybe because more people are home, but also I've invested a lot more time on my behalf into the quality of my own content and just the projects that I have going on.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
How has online shopping impacted the COVID for you personally over quarantine?
Well, I got to tell you, instead of buying a lot of new things, my channel has more or less just aimed towards repairing things I already have. The only new thing I think I've purchased during this whole COVID thing, it's right here in this box. I'll show it to you. This is like a kit, you're supposed to build it with a nitro motor. It was on sale, and I'll tell you right now, this was probably my only like stay-at-home COVID based decision. The reason is this is a kit. It takes time for you to build, to paint it. So, this was purchased like at the outset of everyone staying at home. I was going to build it. Now, have I built it? No, I haven't, because I just kind of like the box. Maybe one day I will build it, but that's just like a mindset, you could say. I myself, along with other people, I basically broke my own principles from running, giant nitro monster trucks like this to thinking I should be building electric kits like this. I'm sorry, nitro kits like this.
Do you think that in-person hobby shops have been going out of business because of COVID, or do you think COVID has helped these stores?
Do I think hobby shops have had success during this whole COVID thing in terms of sales or not? Personally, I think yes, I would say yes. I know for a fact a lot of my friends that over the time frame of COVID have purchased many electric vehicles to build at home. They've told me about it. They've bought some for their kids. But me personally, I haven't really been to my local hobby store in a long time. The reason is really just nothing there for me to buy. A lot of the stuff I buy is used to begin with. My channel is based around repair, maintenance, stuff like that. For me, there's really no point in going there other than buying nitro fuel. And in modern times, nitro fuel is cheaper online. And that's basically what I've been using. But I guess you could say, yes, they have had more sales. The problem is, I'll tell you right now, is the stock. I actually did videos during this whole COVID thing where I checked the stock status of several brands online. And I'll tell you this, most of the nitros were constantly sold out. In fact, I thought most of them were discontinued. They were constantly sold out for such a long time span at a time.
For the people watching this that don't know what nitros are, can you explain what a nitro car is?
Sure. Let me explain to you what a nitro vehicle is. This is an example of one that I have been working on restoring. I bought this quite some time ago. This is about 20 years old. This is one of the most vintage collectible nitro RCs ever. The brand is Schumacher. So if you look up Schumacher, very legendary race history. This is a 3-speed. So you have a 3-speed automatic transmission. Basically, the term nitro comes down to the type of power that powers the car, the drivetrain. So this is the nitro motor itself. It is basically a 2-stroke internal combustion engine. The only other alternative power source for remote control cars, other than internal combustion engines, is electric operated. You could call it battery power. Modern days, we just call it electric, right? But generally, nitro motors, they make a lot of power for the displacement they put out. If you watch like Top Fuel drag racing, oftentimes they mix nitro fuel into the regular fuel that those cars run. So it's fairly expensive. About a quart of nitro fuel, the cheapest you can get it for online is about $9, and that's what I run. But you got to realize these things have very small fuel tanks. This is the fuel tank we're talking about. This one is terrible, but in terms of capacity, you can get like a 15 to 20-minute run time on an average amount of fuel in the tank at one time.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thanks so much. That was a very good answer to that one. So other than making YouTube videos, do you do anything for a living, like other than that?
Yes, in terms of education, let's say my sponsor, my day job, right? I am an auditor. So I went to school for accounting and finance. Finance was my minor. I also have a master's degree in business management. The RC thing is more or less just my hobby. Do I have the potential to make that, let's say, my main source of income? It's possible. But once again, that takes a lot of effort. And for me, I'll be honest with you, I love this hobby ever since I was probably in middle school. There was probably a stretch of time there where certain decisions were made that could have put me on the wrong path in life. And I guess saving up to buy my first ever Nitro RC really made me dedicated to doing what I had to do in life in terms of having a job, not being a loser, being a positive human being.
Oh, wow. Very interesting. Thank you for that.
You got it.
Yeah, so you said that you minored in finance and majored in
Accounting.
accounting. Where'd you go to college for that?
I went to the City University of New York. So it's a CUNY. I live in Staten Island. I went to the College of Staten Island twice, actually, both for the bachelor's and the graduate degree. So I was in the Macaulay Honors Program. I don't know if many people know what that is, but that's pretty much like a specialty program. You can only get accepted straight from high school. Today, they're called Macaulay. I'm pretty sure there's a couple campuses in New York that have these specialized programs, and it's a full tuition paid scholarship. But you have to go there for 4 years. You have to do a study abroad. I did mine in China. I loved it. And that's probably why I eat a lot of Chinese food in many of my videos for the people that have watched me for a long time. That's probably a fact there. But very good school. I'll tell you this. I'm the type of person that thinks that no matter where you go to school, if you put in the work, if you study what you're supposed to study, right, you're going to do well. That's basically what it is. There's a lot of debate about Ivy school educations, and yeah, that matters. I'll be honest with you, in the real job world, that does matter. I've been to, on job interviews where they looked at my resume and they thought I went to NYU. Were my grades good enough to go to NYU? Yes. Would I have had a full paid scholarship to go there? The answer is no. And I'm not from that background that could more or less afford that. I wish I was, but that's just the reality of what it is.
For the future of RC, what do you think it looks like buying and selling? And what do you think that looks like?
Do you mean like, do I think it's going to go towards mostly electrics, or do you mean mostly towards nitro gas?
Yeah, basically. Do you think that RC would go mainly towards nitro, or do you think it would go to electric?
What do I think about the future of RC? It's a subject I've thought about for quite some time. I actually include a couple of my personal opinions in some videos. I've thought of making a video just about the conversation, where I think it will go. Clearly, the proof is in the market, in terms of the amount of nitros getting discontinued. It is huge. So, I'll be the first to tell you it's going towards electrics. The reason is it just appeals to the mass market. There's really nothing wrong with running electrics, but the reality is, when I first got into RC, the performance of an electric vehicle was terrible. It was terrible. The batteries were fairly expensive. They were heavy. Your runtime was terrible. In modern time, electrics in terms of speed, generally they will dominate, but not always. I'll show you this car right here, the Traxxas Jado 3.3. Why am I pointing it out? That is currently the fastest ready to run brand new nitro that you can buy. They're rated to do over 65 miles per hour. So, if people make the claim that electrics are faster, Not always. That is not a rule of thumb. It's just, are there more faster electrics? Yes, that is true. Also, the reality is in terms of sales, marketing, hobby shops, they want to sell product. They want to sell you electrics that you buy. You don't come back asking questions on how to, break in a complicated motor like this, how to repair stuff. They don't want to do that. Their job is to sell you product, and that's what they do. Now, in the future, there's also a lot of regulations coming down in terms of nitro content in fuel. I know some of my friends overseas have already made videos about it where they're banning certain levels of nitro. I would say anything above 20%, I think it's getting banned, or you need a license. It's not really the end of the world. You could still run it. Will I run nitro forever? The answer is yes. As long as we could buy them brand new, there will always be ones that are sold for pretty good value on the used market. And hopefully, people watching this video, guys, go buy yourself some nitro RCs. That way in the future, I could buy your RC on the used market,
Can you speak on the used market, like eBay and those bigger entities? How do you think that's affecting those smaller hobby shops? And do you think the hobby shops will be able to compete with them in the future?
I've been buying stuff on eBay ever since I got into this hobby. I'll be honest with you, like when I first got into it, I was in middle school. And the only way for me to finance the hobby at that time before I could legally have a job was I would buy stuff on eBay and then repair it somewhat and sell it. That was my profit. You weren't making a lot. We're talking like maybe 20, 25% per vehicle at that time. But it's also something I enjoyed doing. There was a big spread in the amount of money you would pay for something used on eBay and the amount of money something costs brand new. Today, the reality is I haven't even been making almost any purchases on eBay lately at all. The reason is the asking prices are insane. Sellers are not dumb. And the first thing you understand when you go to like, you take marketing class, let's say, is never think that the buyer is an idiot. The buyer is always going to want to pay the least and the seller is always going to want to have the most, right? That's just what it is. And where they meet, that's the selling price. That's the reality. Now, something like this, let's say, this is a fairly collectible, team associated MGT 8.0, very collectible. I just did a couple videos on these. So these would go for, man, I've seen asking prices like, over 500, 600. Of course, condition has to do a lot with it. Do I think it's a good purchase at that price range? Unless you're a collector or someone like me that really knows what they're doing and kind of I'm using this stuff for a lot of my videos. Personally, I wouldn't invest that much money into an old RC. But yeah, I have seen the trend of used prices going up. And I sold a lot of my electrics during the whole COVID outbreak because that was the time to sell. I could have sold the nitros, but I'm kind of addicted to them. That's kind of like why my shirt says Nitrogang right here, right? I hope that answers your question. So prices are crazy. That's the final answer on eBay. And I'm pretty sure everyone will agree.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
I think those were all of my questions.
Now that is what you call a two-speed associated MGT 8.0, baby.
Before I let you go, why don't you tell the Nitrogang which RCs you run? That's what we want to know.
So I used to have a HPI Bullet ST. I think.
Man, I have one of those.
Yeah, I had one of those for a while, and then I recently sold it because it kept on having problems and stuff. I've just got a Rovin Baja, not a Nitro, but a two-stroke. That's been taking.
Oh man, you're in the gas gang, huh?
Yeah. That's what's been taking up most of my time.
This is a gas RC. I just unveiled this the other day.
Really?
It needs a lot of repair.
Gas RC are the best. I love those. It's really fun with the Rovin Baja. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I got to tell you, like I remember I was probably in like my first year of college when the original HPI Baja came out, and that thing was so much money. brand new, they were a little over $1,000. And at that time, that was just astronomical money at that time, because, I was like in school, my earning ability was low, of course, minimum wages were like super low. Today, the Rovin and the King Motors clones, they are incredible. And I'm sure you can agree. The quality is unmatched. And how much do they cost? Like, let's say a brand new cheap Rovin. Tell everybody. I already know. I want you to tell them.
I got mine like I think $500. But I think you can get them like online for like $400 or something. I found
exactly. It's for that kind of money. It's
amazing purchase.
It's incredible. Let me put it this way. This Jado here, brand new, cost a little bit under 500. It's a great RC, but in terms of what you get with a gas Baja, let's say a Rovin, the price there just blows you away, right? I mean, and how's it in terms of reliability? I'm curious. I know everybody wants to know. There's always a debate. Oh, Rovin, they're a bad clone. That's not even a reality,
For the price, it's definitely, I would recommend it. It's very reliable. We've been taking it out, bashing it, really putting it through a lot of use, and it hasn't broken yet. I think we got a little scrape on the body. It's really, really reliable. I definitely recommend it.
Did you see the video where I towed a tree with my Rovin Baja?
I did see that, yeah.
And nothing broke at all. It was a giant tree, and nothing broke at all. Not even the clutch. I haven't repaired a single thing in that car, my original gas RC there.
That's crazy. Yeah, Rovins are the best, and it takes like 45 minutes to get through a tank.
Yeah, really, very cost efficient, and spark plugs are cheap. Like, there's really no problems with them at all. But gas RCs are completely different. One of the negatives, I always try to point this out, like when people ask me, is the liability with a gas RC. So, they're a large, fast-moving, heavy object that there's no way to turn off the engine without killing the spark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to get a kill switch. I learned my lesson one time, and I don't want to learn my lesson with a runaway ever again. And sometimes you lose signal, stuff happens. It's dangerous. It happened to me. And I've been in this hobby for a very long time. If it happened to me, it could happen to anybody. Honestly, that's one of the most worrisome things that I always think about when I go run any of my gas RCs. I think one of the things manufacturers need to do is start including kill switches in all gas trucks. You see the picture right here, me with the Primal MT?
Yeah.
This is actually my most popular video on my channel, over 1.3 million views. I was one of the first in the world to get it. Well, this is an 80-pound truck. And guess what? It comes with a factory installed kill switch. So it can be done. We as like the consumer, we have to tell the manufacturers we want the kill switches. It's just a safety feature. You can get your own, but it only takes one fool to mess it all up for everybody. That's just what I'll say. And the more safety, the better.
We had a runaway on a small little, I think it was I forget what it was, some small little streetcar, nitro streetcar, and that was scary enough. It would almost like hit a car.
And eventually they turn off. They'll turn off eventually. Yeah. But the gas ones, the
gas ones keep on going. Yeah.
Yeah. And mine slammed into a curb at top speed. Luckily, the Red Cat was so slow. The top speed was only 28 miles an hour. That's the benefit. Thank God it was just stock. I'll fix it. I'll show it on the channel soon. I just haven't really showed it much recently because I'm just kind of pissed at myself still over it. You got to really take your own advice sometimes. What can I tell you? All right. That's it. Great interview, man. Any final questions you want to ask?
No, that's it. But thank you so much for doing this. I'm a big fan.
You got it. Thanks so much. Bye. Talk to you later.
I'll see ya. Bye.
Nitro.
She say she wanna dance, but she don't know how to. I'm iced out, looking like a star.